Most creators are using AI completely wrong, especially Claude Code. They're using it to write more scripts, to come up with more video ideas, and to just pump out more content that nobody ever asked for. And that is not a YouTube business. That's just a faster way to make garbage. So if I was starting from zero all over again today, I would use Claude Code to build 5 core systems, all of which I will walk you through in this video, and all with just one person, myself and Claude Code. But before we actually get tactical and dive into Claude Code, I need to make something extremely clear right off the bat. Claude Code will not make you a good YouTuber, but it can, and if you use it right, will remove a disgusting amount of friction between idea, execution, feedback, and then adjustment. And that right there is where most creators are absolutely losing. Most creators think their problem is content. They think that I just need more video ideas, or needing to post more, or needing to be more consistent. And maybe, but usually, at least what I've seen, that's not the real problem. The core, deeper problem, the real problem is that their feedback loop is just way too slow. See, they come up with an idea, they overthink it, they make the video of that idea, and then it just doesn't perform well, and then they feel super discouraged and confused. Then what they do is they go and watch another tutorial, they change their niche again, they might even go and buy another course, and then they just repeat the same vicious cycle. And that, my friends, is not strategy. That is emotional damage in the form of a content calendar. And the reason I say that is because, well, I've been there. I've spent years around YouTube, filmmaking, editing, strategy, client work, my own channels, failed ideas, business pivots, all of it. I mean, I can go on and on. And the biggest thing I've learned is this: YouTube does not reward the person who knows the most. It rewards the person who can learn the fastest. That means you need to shorten the amount of time between idea, execution, feedback of that idea, and then adjustment or pivot based off that feedback. And that right there is where Claude Code becomes interesting. Claude Code is super interesting because it can help one person build all of these systems that normally would require a team in the past. All of the boring backend that turns YouTube from, man, I hope this works, into an actual business. By the way, before we actually get into building, I want to let you know I put all the prompts and resources for this video inside of my free YouTube bundle. It's going to be in the first link below. And again, it's completely free. It has a custom GPT, templates, swipe files, and again, all the prompts from this video. And with that, let's now jump into the 5 systems that we can create with Claude Code. So system 1 is finding a painful audience. This is where a lot of people ruin the whole entire infrastructure before they even upload a video. I hear it all the time. People will say, I want to start something like a productivity channel. Okay, cool, dude. For who? For students, for founders, for people who struggle with ADHD, for new moms? Like, which is it? Because those are all different people. They all have different pain points. They all click on different titles. They all watch for different reasons, and they all buy different things. A topic is not a business. An audience with a pain point or a painful audience that can pay, that's the start of a business. So the first thing I would use Claude Code for is building an audience scoring system. Nothing crazy, just a super simple tool that scores possible audiences by the following. How painful is the problem? Are they already watching YouTube to solve that problem? Do they have money? Do they already buy courses, coaching tools, or communities? And can I make videos for that audience every single week? You can also include things like, do I have any credibility with them? And can this turn into a real offer? Now, this is where people get way too romantic. They pick niches based on just what they like. Like, I like fitness, or I like AI, or something like that. I like self-improvement, and that's fine. The thing that you need to understand is liking something does not always mean that there is a business there. The better question that you should be asking is, who is in pain? What do they want? What are they embarrassed about? What have they already tried? And what are they already paying to fix? For example, YouTube growth, that's a topic. But skilled creators who know their videos should be doing better, but cannot figure out why they're stuck. They are confused with ideation and converting videos into actual revenue. You see that right there? That is an audience. That person has a clear pain. They have urgency and they want feedback. And if they're serious enough, they will pay for help. And that right there is the difference between the two. Now, Claude Code, it doesn't pick the audience for you, but if done right, it forces you to stop being vague. So this is the prompt that I use to build this. Hey, Claude Code, could you please build me an audience scoring system for a one-person YouTube business? Could you also please make sure that you score each audience by pain level, buying power, YouTube demand, offer potential, my own credibility, and weekly content potential? Then afterwards, please force me to define the audience, the problem, what they already watch, and what they might buy. And then boom, I'm just gonna let that run and create it. You could have fun with how you want it to look, but this is how mine ended up coming out. And it's pretty functional. And it actually was very, very helpful. And this one system can save you from wasting 6 months making videos for the wrong person. Now, system 2 is finding proven demand. This is where Claude Code helps you stop guessing what to post. But pay really close attention here because I do not want you guys to get lost. I think that with the capabilities of AI, it allows us to no longer have to do a lot of the grunt work type of things that we could spend all day working on. And therefore, it allows us to be able to spend all of our time on the thinking, the most important needle moving things. I think strategy and finding ideas in the world of YouTube is one of the most important things that you could do manually. However, with that being said, we can use Claude Code to help us exponentially speed up the process for people who don't want to spend hours and hours on ideation. So what I don't want you to do is go into Claude Code like you've maybe have been in the past and just asking it, hey Claude, could you give me 100 viral video ideas? Right? That's how you get garbage ideas that aren't proven to work and are overly saturated and very generic. Ideas like 10 tips to grow your YouTube channel, right? Nobody cares about that. Not because the topics are useless, but because they're packaged like homework in addition to the other things that I just mentioned. So the better move is to use Claude Code to study what is already working. Outlier videos, repeated title patterns, thumbnail patterns, formats from other niches, audience fears, audience desires, common objections. The list goes on and on. For example, what I like to do is use a tool called Velio. It's a YouTube research tool. And I'll go into the search bar when I enter into that tool and I'll type in, for example, how to grow on YouTube. And I'll just start taking screenshots of some of the best outliers that come up in my feed. I find videos with the least amount of subscribers, but the most views. And then what I'll do is I'll put those screenshots into a Figma board. And once I have maybe 20 to 50 screenshots of videos that I've gotten from Velio, which literally takes me a few minutes to do, I then give all of those videos to Claude to do the grunt work for me. I ask Claude to go through and find me patterns amongst all of those outliers that I took a screenshot of. Because if we find multiple outlier videos to the point where there is like 4 or more outliers made on the same topic, that's no longer an outlier that we should just copy. That is a signal that we should make that video as soon as humanly possible. You see, what we're doing is we are the brains, but Claude is doing all the grunt work for us because the whole process of actually finding patterns amongst outliers that we found, I mean, that takes quite a while. So then once you have that, just ask Claude, hey Claude, once you find patterns with at least 4 outliers out of the screenshots that I've given you that have used the exact same format, please extract that format that you find a pattern of and turn it into a template for me. And then what I want you to do is take that template and show me how I can make it applicable to my audience in my niche. And what's really cool is that's exactly what I'm doing with this video. I went and took a bunch of screenshots and I found a format that was working. How to start a one-person niche specific thing with Claude Code in time frame. Then what I did is I kept the structure and I rebuilt it for YouTube growth. And that's where this video became an idea. That is not copying, that is format transferring. And I just used Claude Code to save me hours of doing this myself. I just needed to make sure that I gave it the correct inputs or good quality inputs. And then I just had Claude Code do the rest for me. The really time consuming stuff. See, most creators only study direct competitors within their niche, but the problem is by the time a format or outlier is obvious in your niche, everyone's already copying it. So you want Claude Code helping you to look sideways, look outside the box, right? Go look in the business niche, in the AI niche, and the productivity niche, any adjacent niche to yours where you can find formats that are already working, but that aren't oversaturated in your niche yet, because that's when you'll strike on a very viral video. And that's how you get great ideas that feel proven, but not stale. And that right there's the entire game. Don't ask AI to invent demand or come up with viral ideas for me. Use AI to find demand that is already there. Now, system 3 is the packaging machine. This might be the most important one, honestly, because I mean, packaging is where most creators start thinking of it as an afterthought. I don't know why it drives me nuts. They think about what thumbnail to make and what title to use when everything else in the process has already been finished. You have to remember, as Patty Galloway once said, YouTube is a click and then watch platform, meaning the thumbnail and title are arguably the most important part outside of the idea, given that if that doesn't hook them, the title and thumbnail, they're never gonna see your actual video. And when they see that title and thumbnail, you have about half a second where they decide if the video is worth their time or not. It's brutal, but it's also great because it means that you can improve the video before you ever film it, before you go through all the work of scripting, filming, and editing. So what I would do is I would use Claude Code to build a packaging lab. Listen, image generation has gotten so good. What I personally use for all my thumbnails is an AI model called Nano Banana Pro. It's still one of the best AI generation models for image generation in my opinion. And in fact, 99% of my thumbnails are made with it, whether you realize it or not. Now, my preference is I personally use a tool called Higgsfield. You've probably heard of it by now, but if not, it's essentially an AI suite where inside of that platform, Higgsfield, it has every single AI model in one place for image generation and video generation. It's a little expensive, but I use it regardless. It saves me so much money in the cost it would cost me to hire a thumbnail designer. Now, a main reason I use it is because I can actually connect Claude Code to Higgsfield. And it's very easy to do. In fact, within the prompts that I'm going to be giving you guys for free in the first link below inside of the YouTube bundle, I'm also giving you guys a quick tutorial on how to link your Higgsfield account to your Claude account if you guys are using Higgsfield, so that basically we could do all of our thumbnail generation within Claude. And when you do that, what I can do now is go straight into Claude Code, and I can say, once we have our format, which we did in the previous step, I can then go and get a concept, a thumbnail concept that's been proven to work as inspiration. And then I can upload that reference image to Claude Code and say, please, with the Higgsfield AI connection that you have, use Nano Banana Pro and recreate a similar thumbnail concept to the thumbnail concept I've given you, but replace the man in the image with me. And then I can even ask it to replace or change anything else I want in the thumbnail to make it more myself, if you will, or anything else I want to change. And I can even ask it to create me multiple versions or concepts or variations so that I could split test it. And one of the most fantastic parts about this is now thumbnails are made within minutes rather than manually having to go in and do it yourself and spend hours, and you're not a designer, so it probably ends up looking like garbage anyways, right? Oftentimes they actually look way better than if I would have gone into Photoshop or Canva and manually made it. Now, System 4 is scripting for retention. And I need to be honest about something here. Most AI scripts are horrible, horrible, horrible. They sound like a LinkedIn post got trapped inside of a YouTube video. But after testing the power and time-saving ability that we have with tools like Claude Code for scripting, I have been trying so hard to figure out how to crack the code with getting really good scripts written from Claude Code. And I think I finally figured it out. See, the special part is not asking Claude to write a script for you. Everybody's doing that. That's how you blend into the sea of sameness and get generic stuff. The special part is forcing it to structure attention. A script's not words. A script is attention management. The hook has to earn the next 30 seconds. The first 30 seconds has to confirm the click. The beginning needs to create the enemy, if you will. The body needs to move fast. Every section needs examples, illustrations, or something adjacent. Every few minutes, the viewer needs a reason to keep going, to avoid habituation, right? And the CTA, the call to action, it cannot feel like it got duct taped together at the end. But most importantly, it needs a polarizing, unique perspective. We cannot let AI think for us, because the second it does that, it becomes generic. So what I've been trying to figure out for months is how can we achieve all of that while still leveraging Claude Code to do it for us without sounding like AI slop, without allowing it to think for us. Well, what I would do is what I did. I would build a Claude skill called YouTube script writing, which I've done, and you can get it for free below inside of the YouTube bundle. And what's really cool about it is it refuses to write a single word of a script for you until it first asks you and runs you through a series of questions to get at least 1 to 2 full pages of context on the direction that you want to go with that, to get your unique polarizing perspective on that topic, to get your unique stories and experiences. I highly recommend that if you use this skill or build it yourself, that you use a voice to text tool to actually answer the questions. Otherwise, this will take you a ton of time to write the scripts. But if you use a voice dictation or basically voice to text tool, it will literally take you 5 to 10 minutes to get the context that you need in order for Claude Code to build you a really good script. But I wouldn't stop there. I would also use Claude Code to build me a script checker. Before filming, it would ask me something like, does this hook start fast? Does the first 30 seconds match the title? Is the point of view obvious? Is there a real example in every single section? Is there a pattern interrupt? Is there any line that sounds like AI? Or is the call to action earned? And most importantly, what is the viewer thinking right now on every single part of the script? Because that is the part that most creators or YouTubers forget. You are not writing for yourself. You are writing for someone who is always one swipe, one text, one notification, one dopamine hit away from leaving and clicking off your video. See, Claude Code can help you tighten the structure, but it cannot give you the scar tissue. That's the purpose behind the context. And that's why by using Claude Code to build you a script checker, in addition to having a Claude Code skill trained on structure, storytelling, and on getting the right information from you, and then having it basically take all that and then structuring it into a script for you, well, that's the real hack, to have scripts get written for you in a matter of minutes that are good, polarizing, and can cut through the noise and actually convert. Because remember, your taste is what makes people trust it. Now, system 5 is the business layer. This is the part that most YouTube advice just skips altogether, because if your channel has no capture mechanism, no offer, no follow-ups, and no path for the right viewer to go deeper or to buy from you, you do not have a YouTube business. You have a stressful hobby with analytics. Now, if you're brand new, I'm not saying that you need some massive funnel on day one. Your first videos are schooling for yourself. They're testing. Right? You're learning your audience. You're learning what people click and don't click. You're learning where your taste is wrong and where you stand out. But if the goal is a YouTube business, attention eventually needs a place to go. So I would use Claude Code to build the whole backend for me. I would have Claude Code build me a lead magnet, which is where you give something away for free in exchange for their email address so that you can nurture them through your newsletter or your email marketing. And by the way, all the free prompts that you're gonna get inside of my YouTube bundle that I've mentioned like 3 times now, that whole YouTube bundle is a free lead magnet. So when you go and you get it and you get all my free prompts and everything else, you are going to actually actively be going through what it's like to go through a free lead magnet, which may be beneficial for you. I would also use Claude Code to build me something like a lead tracker, and also probably a simple way to route people based on where they are. So you can set this up really simply in Claude Code. For example, if they're a beginner, then I would have Claude Code based off of how they interact with things, set something up on the back end based off how they engage with my stuff. It will push them to either to my free, probably if they're a beginner, to my free community, right? Or if they're an active creator with a clear bottleneck, then I might have Claude kind of understand their patterns in the way they're interacting and segment them and then push them to probably my paid community, right? Or maybe they're a business owner with an offer and some urgency. Then I would have Claude Code segment them and understand all of that, and then make sure it pushes them probably to the right spot, which would likely be my one-to-one coaching. This is where you can have Claude Code build you lead magnets and tools that sell for you and segment your audience or your buyer profile for you. It's really powerful stuff. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the prompts will all be below to build every single piece of this, because this one's kind of a really long prompt. I don't want to take up more time in this video going over the entire prompt because it will be below in the YouTube bundle. But that being said, you can see on screen right now, this is my YouTube bundle landing page. It's a several step landing page with several redirects where it could take users to different places. And all of this, guys, was completely built with Claude Code in literally like 35 minutes. Or even less than that. I set up everything with just a few prompts. And right here is how YouTube becomes more than just views. You have to remember, the video creates trust. The lead magnets capture the right person, put them through the flow, the nurturing process, if you will. The diagnostic system creates clarity. The follow-up system that you can build with Claude Code gives them next steps on what to do. And the offer helps them solve the actual problem they have way faster. And that is a business. And this is why I made the YouTube bundle, because I don't want to just have you watch this and think, cool idea, like Claude Code is cool. I want you to actually use it. I want you to experience what I've experienced. I want you to take all of the prompts for every single step of this and actually go and build and implement all of this for yourself. Because inside the free YouTube bundle, I put not only all of the prompts and everything for this, but I gave you guys a custom free GPT. I gave you my swipe files and templates, and I gave you guys access to free courses and all kinds of stuff to help you more than just these prompts. And please don't overcomplicate this. You do not need to build $1 million funnel today. Just give attention a next step to go through. That alone puts you ahead of most creators. Now, please don't be the person who is going to watch this video and think to themselves, cool, I just need Claude Code now and I'll be successful on YouTube. No, you need taste. You need reps. You need to press publish as much as possible. You need to look at the video that failed and ask why it failed without lying to yourself. Claude Code will not save a weak idea. It will not make a boring audience care. It will not fix an offer nobody wants. It will not give you credibility you have not earned. And it will not make you a good YouTuber overnight. It can help you move faster. It can help you research faster. It can help you create more reps. It can help you structure your scripts better. It can help you turn messy thoughts into systems. It can help you diagnose faster after you publish. And it can help you stop treating YouTube like a random creative gamble. That is the real advantage. Not having AI make all my content for me. It's having AI shorten the distance between idea, execution, feedback, and iteration. That is where people are gonna win. So if I was starting from zero, this is the whole model. I would pick one painful audience with money. I would use Claude Code to study what they already watch, what they already buy, and what they are already frustrated with. I would then build a list of proven formats from my niche and from outside my niche, adjacent niches, and I would create a packaging lab so every idea goes through a title and thumbnail rep, if you will, before I ever click record. I would also build a scripting system that forces every video to have a super fast hook, a clear enemy, real examples and stories, and an actual reason to keep watching with a polarizing, unique perspective. Then I would build the business layer behind it all. I would have probably a free lead magnet or resource, maybe a community, a diagnostic kind of funnel, a follow-up system, and one clear offer for people who want help solving the problem faster that they could buy. And that, my friends, is the machine. It's a simple system that helps one person create, learn, adjust, and monetize significantly faster. And if you want to know where I would start first, it's not with the funnel, it's not with the script, it's not even with the niche, it's with the video idea. It's with understanding attention, because one strong idea and understanding attention can fix problems that editing, scripting, and consistency never will. But lucky for you, I've made a video on that exact topic, which you could click right here to watch next. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Peace.